All right. I think I'm live. I hope I am live. Let me just see. Welcome, beautiful, powerful people of the world. I'm going to make sure that we are live on our Facebook because we want to make sure that you guys have an understanding of what we're doing today. You guys are in for a treat. This is going to be so exciting, guys, because you have no idea the impact that that happened to me through my encounter with this woman of God. Okay, today is going to be a different setup because I need you to understand that honestly there is always treasures inside of us that we can actually pass on to the next generation. And one of the tools for us to be able to have legacy is to be able to write your story in your book. So, yay! We are live. And so, because oh, wait a minute, I'm just going confused now. Okay, because of this woman of God, I was able to get that book out of my innermost being. Hello, Lacey. Hello, Arlene. Because of this woman of God, she was able to kind of just, fish out that treasure that God wanted me to go and put in a book. Guys, she is my cousin. She looks like me, blue eyes. She's extremely brilliant. Oh my gosh. You don't want to miss her being your mentor because she was mine. Without further ado, guys, just welcome with me Charity Bradshaw. Yay! There she is. Yay! You, I think, are muted. Are you muted? Say hi.
Hello, am I muted?
Okay, good. I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, say hi. Give us your
Hey.
background.
Hi from the very warm and sunny Houston, Texas today. I wore sleeveless just to rub it in for all my Canadian friends and those who are in the snow already. I'm so sorry, but it's beautiful here. And I'm so thankful to be with you, Ruth. I love you. I'm so glad that we met those many years ago. And I'm excited for what's going to happen today. I'm excited for the people that we're going to connect with. And I love what I do, and I love getting to help people believe in what
Mm-hmm,
God has put inside them and
mm-hmm.
to connect that with paper, and so they can go all around the world. My books have been places I've never been, and I find that fascinating and exhilarating, and I love helping people do the same.
Guys, not only does she write a book, but she has this ability to actually like help you walk by the dot. She's not somebody that would dictate to you, but she's gonna pull out the best in you. And
Mhm.
so let's get into the questionnaires that I would want to you know uh to actually get our viewers to actually understand. How
Mhm.
did you get into author coaching first and foremost?
So that's a great question. My mom is Joan Hunter. She's an evangelist, and I've
John
gotten
Hunter.
yes. I've been able to speak at different conferences that she's had year after year, some of them biannually. And you'd run into people and they'd say, I've got this book idea. And then 6 months later, you run into the same person, I've got this book idea. And I was like, wait, is that the same idea we talked about 6 months ago? And then a year later, I've got this book idea. And I was like, write the book already was kind of how I felt. And when I was writing my books, I put 3 books out in a year. It was a very short time period, and my husband was like, you don't have to like keep at this pace. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I literally felt like I had triplets that had to be born and they had to come that way. And what was happening was God was showing me how to write a book in 90 days. And that is what I've been able to translate into how I help my clients is books don't need years. They just don't. We just build in that procrastination time because we want to like have excuses and want to have all this space and time when really it's like prolonging a labor.
Mm-hmm.
Labors can be nice and short, or we can just make them, hold them, drag them out for years. And so many people hold on to these books for years, Ruth. I'll ask them, how long have you had this idea? And they'll be like, 10 years. I'm like, 10 years you had this book idea? It could have been making money 9 years ago for you and become another income stream. I've been helping people. They
Mm,
hold on, and there's a lot of reasons why they hold on. We might get into those with a few minutes.
right. And but I have two questions in this question.
Yeah.
What is actually an author? And what is an author coaching?
Okay, so an author basically, so I'll say this for myself. I did not ever envision myself being an author. Maybe you can relate to that. Maybe a lot of people can relate to that. And when it was my mom's prompting, and when I say prompting, I mean like, digging in my back, like
Being
prompting,
a mother, yeah, being a mother.
you should. And I was like, okay, well. But it took her incessant prodding to even get me to start. So I understand the reluctant author. I relate to that reluctant author. I did not really want to become an author. I don't like the spotlight. I don't like people knowing things about me when I don't know anything about them. I was kind of very hesitant about that. And it took my mom's prodding. So an author is basically a person that's written a book. And then an author coach is someone, for me, I'll speak for myself because I'm sure people have it different ways. But for me, it's about helping people access, believe in, and organize what God has put inside them, whether it's their expertise, whether it's their experience, whether it's like their lane that they drive, whether it's their business. We've helped people, like I've helped lawyers write books, I've helped educators write books, I've helped single moms write books, I've helped doctors write books. It doesn't matter who or even what your subject matter is so much as it is believing that you have a voice and believing that it's a unique voice. One of the things about my first book that I actually wrote was I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I live in the same city with so-and-so who is an expert on this topic. Who am I to write this book? That book's already been written. And my mom's like, he doesn't have your voice. He doesn't have your perspective. He doesn't have your experience. And I was like, okay, you're right. And
Mom's always right.
yeah, it took me acknowledging that I have a unique perspective, a unique set of circumstances, a unique vision, and even unique examples. Like I wouldn't use half the examples that he used because I'm not male. I'm
Right.
not driven by those male motives or those male incentives, whatever. Like I'm a female. I look for certain other things, and certain things speak to me because I'm female. So that was one difference right away. Also, there's an age gap. So there's,
Yeah.
things that my generation faced that his generation didn't face.
Right.
And so I began to acknowledge and give value to my uniqueness
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because truly none of us have had the exact same experience.
Value to your uniqueness. I mean, there is nobody that's watching right now. I mean, Ella, Tina, Lacey, guys, you all have voices, don't you? We all do. We all have our own story, right? We
Hmm.
all have our own. And honestly, when Charity was actually prodding on me to write the book, she's actually like,
I
right
learned from the
now,
best.
yeah, now is the time. Now is the time. I'm very thankful. But Charity, you yourselves have that. I felt insecure and scared. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh, insecure because I don't think I could ever get those words out of my mouth and put it on that paper. And then the second was like, am I an imposter because I'm not really like an expert? That's just like
Hmm.
what you said. And then people are gonna know me.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I was like, serious. People are gonna, as if nobody's seeing me on Facebook, right? But I felt like your reach is more in this book. Yeah, because even if you're gone, I mean, it's still there. But if they don't consider themselves as an author, what would be your encouragement to them? Just, I mean, tell them how you did that to me.
Well, sure. I mean, if you haven't written a book, you're not an author. And I'll tell you, as far as imposter syndrome goes, I remember my mom telling me, again, this is a homage to my mom, but my mom told me you need business cards. And so I pulled up Vistaprint and I sat there and I typed in my name. And then like they always have this little space for what to put like as your description. And I sat there and I typed author and then I deleted it. I was like, because I'm not an author yet. And I typed it again and I deleted it. And I mean, my book was like in process, but I couldn't even assign one
Yeah,
title to
man.
myself because it didn't feel real. I did feel like an imposter, even though I'd already even penned most of the book at that time. I feel like I couldn't even give myself that title. And then finally I typed it in, I hit order, and I just like backed away. And I was like, I instantly regretted it. I was like, what did I just do? I put these cards that said author, and I'm not even an author yet. And it felt it felt weird. Not gonna lie, it felt weird. But then when I had my book and I had my business card, that was the feeling of like, yes, I can shove my business cards into these books with confidence. I've done it. It's just a matter of accomplishing the goal. It's just a
Mm,
matter of doing the thing. It's just a
mhm.
matter of writing the book. I mean, there are plenty of people who were not authors until they authored their first book. Every author was a first time author at some point.
Mm.
And yes,
Right.
it feels like forging new territory. It feels like pushing boundaries that maybe your family's had or you've had about yourself. But there's something so transformative, powerful, humbling,
Mhm.
amazing that happens in that process.
I like when you said humbling because we always have this, it's almost like false humility, right? It's like, no, 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 I can't really, I can't claim that. I can't
Mhm,
claim that I am that. I can't claim. But then, honestly, what was my take is that I just told my story.
mhm.
And I wasn't ashamed of my story because it was the story of the Lord in my life and his greatness. And so that really gave me an amazing, amazing thing. How about what would you say are the keys? The key things most people need support in getting their book written.
So when I talk to these clients who come to me, let's say even before they're clients, and they're telling me about why it's been 5 years or 10 years or 20 years that they've had this idea, I've gathered a lot of information over these like near decade that I've been coaching authors. And I've just found there's probably like three or four key things that people need the most support in. Number one, we we know we do better with accountability.
Mm,
We know we do. That's why there are personal trainers. That's why there are meal plans and nutritionists. That's why there are deadlines. That's why there are managers. We do better. We perform at a higher level with accountability. We know this about ourselves, whether we like it or not. That I can't I can't speak to that, but I know myself. I know that if I'm going to be held accountable to someone, I will do better than I will by myself. And my question is, if you could do it on your own, why haven't you?
I
Okay,
needed a little bit more prodding.
so that's point one. We often need accountability. Number two, most of us, it's been a minute since we've written a paper or anything like that in school. We don't remember what to do. We don't remember like tabs or returns or double space. We don't remember that stuff. And so we have this, what if I do it wrong? And then we just don't do it because we don't do it wrong. And I get that. I don't want to waste any of my time. I don't want to waste your time. I want to make sure that they know exactly how to organize it, how to set up the document. So
Mm,
that, because when you know how, you have this confidence. And when you have confidence, you move forward faster. Because sometimes not knowing causes us to feel like we are driving with both the gas and the brake pressed at the same time.
right,
Like, I think I know what I'm doing. What if I don't? I think I know what I'm doing. What if I don't? And it's like you're jerking back and forth. You're not getting anywhere.
right.
It feels there's without that confidence, you just don't go that fast. But as
Mm,
soon as you start feeling that confidence, it goes faster and faster. So that's
right.
the second thing is like, how do I do this? And
Mm,
usually the third obstacle, and this one has a lot of nuance to it, it's fear.
mm,
Fear of man. Like, what will people think? What if this, what if it's not perfect, etc. So there's the fear of man. There's the imposter syndrome. Like, I don't think I'm important enough. I'm just saying it in what we're really saying when we're like, oh, I'm not an author. Oh, I'm not this. I don't, if you boil that down, it's like, I don't feel like I'm important enough, or I don't feel like I'm big enough or special. And really, that's to me devaluing what God has done in your life, devaluing the investment he's made in us, whether it's through our intellect, whether it's through our experience, whether it's through the wisdom we've collected in our years, manifested by gray hairs, whatever.
Mhm.
It's us devaluing who we are. And really, when we believe, and sometimes this is white knuckle belief, when we believe what God has said about us, when we believe who we are in Him, we don't have that stepchild feeling. We have that sonship feeling. And that comes, that it manifests in usually just a very nervous, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll write the book. Yes, I'll give it my best. Yes, I'll try. Yes, I'll follow what you're telling me to do. And
Mhm.
it's again like me typing author and then deleting and then author and then deleting and then finally just going, fine, yes, I'll do it. Like I'll put author on my business card. It's not usually some big moment where there's like sparkling, like, fireworks. It's usually like trepidation, sweat, maybe even. But then
Yeah.
as soon as you give your yes, there is this release, this beautiful release of
Yeah.
this pressure of kind of like holding the balloon down. It's like all of a sudden it becomes light because we've been carrying it, right? And for
Mm.
many of us for years. And so when you carry something, it gets heavier and heavier the longer you carry it. And that release to say yes frees us from the heaviness of carrying it. And we get to begin to put all of those sticky notes that we've kept in our head for this book, we get to finally release all of that.
Right,
And
right.
it's a beautiful relief.
That's so true. I mean, just looking back as to how I was, I think this is like perfect.
Mhm,
I'm never I probably I get really bored at school ever since I was young, and so accountability is number one for me
mhm,
because I really need somebody to go and check on me. And Charity is not like that. She's gonna whip you if you didn't finish the first chapter. No, no, no. She's just gonna go and excite you. So she's
mhm,
gonna excite you to go and actually go. Next, you put that all in chapters. Go and
mhm,
she's very very thorough. But honestly, I needed that accountability, Charity. And
mhm,
then, of course, being scared, right? You being scared of being wrong.
mhm,
That's big for me because I was told before that, I was not eloquent enough. I can't finish a sentence. Who am I to even like, preach or even write a book, right? I mean, that fear actually, that you being scared of being wrong, though, is very normal,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, well, one of the things too that most people don't know
Mm.
is that these days, this is just a state of the union. These days, the average reading level is middle school reading level. So to be eloquent would actually be overshooting the largest part of our audience.
Wow.
It would be something that would make them feel like dumb or that they are probably not smart enough to read your book.
Mm.
So I want people to understand you don't have to have letters after your name or
Mm.
before your name to write a book or be qualified to write a book. Oftentimes, just being able to communicate. And one of the things I didn't know when I wrote my first book, which is why I kind of held on to it for a little while, I didn't know the power of editors. I didn't know what they did. I thought for some reason in my mind that the book went straight from my head, like out into the world. And I was like, that is scary. And so we even started, gosh, like maybe 6 years ago, we started a publishing branch of
Yeah.
our company to help people feel very confident that what they have written has been reviewed and like maybe we've
Mm.
made sure the logic is closed, the logic circle's closed and it doesn't like disagree with itself in different parts of the book. And there is so much that, I wish I could have known sooner, but I'm glad and I'm thankful for the
Right.
mistakes because I've learned so much.
Right. And even Grammarly, right?
Oh yeah.
There's so many tools now.
Mhm,
So, I mean, and it's actually also, yeah, all of us are gifted with so many things, right? And the editors are gifted with reading and correcting. It's amazing. That
mhm.
in itself is a wonder for me. Because
Yes.
and listen, guys, I'm not even a reader. For me to actually be an author, I mean, the only book that I read every day that I must say I read every day is the Bible. That's it. It's like, so for me to be able to be convinced that this is actually something, It was really an act of God, but charity has helped me a lot. I love what you said, fear of men. That's big, Charity. What would people say? How, that cripples all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That would cripple you and I in actually expressing the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And fear of men is the opposite of fear of God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what we're supposed to go be having. And of course, the not enough, and the devaluing yourselves. You devaluing yourself is almost a slap in the face of God, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who are we to say if God actually died on the cross, rose again from the dead for you and I, and you telling yourself you can't when God is saying, yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
something.
imagine even when our children come to
Mhm,
us with these self-limiting beliefs, and
mhm,
we as their parent look at them and know full well that they
mm.
have the capacity, but yet they talk themselves out of it. How hard is it to sit there
I
and
know.
listen
Right, right,
to
right.
that?
You're right. You're right.
And so imagine how God feels when he's like, you share my DNA, you have my spirit with you. And I
Mm,
remind my clients of this in the writing process, that we're never alone in this process. That's even why I like doing the coaching the way I do it is, number one, we're never alone because of God. But number two, I try to bring a small group of people together to do it so that you can support each other.
right.
We can support you all, but you can support each other, and you can share what you went through that week and know, oh, I wasn't alone. I wasn't the only one that had that happen, or I wasn't the only one that had a hard week, or I wasn't the only one that had a good week.
Right, right. No, no, I love that. I mean, because of that small group, charity doesn't get a bigger group, bigger than six, isn't it? How many?
It's like
How
6
many?
or 8, it just depends on the
Depends on the,
time.
the time, but
Mhm,
it's not big that your voice is actually flooded. So what happens is I felt like I was not a failure. And I wasn't intimidated because all of us are saying, oh my gosh, I got stuck here. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. And then Charity would be able to go and see, like really see, okay, what if you change this word into this word, and then all the ideas would just go and come out. It's just exciting, guys. It really is exciting. It's not intimidating because of the family concept that she has in her coaching. And then at the same time, and the last one, of course, is like, I love that. It's been heavy. You're right. If you're holding your phone, even if it's only your phone, but if you've been holding it for the longest time, it gets very heavy.
mhm,
And I didn't even think of that. That the tool that the author that the book that you have in your heart has been there for a while and it's been heavy already.
mhm.
Get it out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah. I try to say, like, "Are you, like, 40 months pregnant with your book? Time. Let that baby go. Go and grow." And I
That's
love that,
so
I
true.
feel like you write the book once. Like, I've
Mm-hmm.
told those stories in those books. I've written it down, and the one that my husband and I did together, we wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever have to write those stories again. It's been
Right.
done. And I look at that as fruit trees. Like when you plant a fruit tree, yes, you have to like nurture it and tend to it. But then after a while, it just produces fruit year after year. And to me, that's the legacy of books
Right.
is you plant that, you do that work, and then it does work for you. Like I said, my book has gone to countries I've never been.
Right.
And what a like exciting like concept that is, that I've been able to impact people that are in nations that I have never stepped foot in. And
Yeah.
even think about my grandparents' books, they've both passed. Their books
Yeah.
still help
Right.
people.
It's
Still.
alive. It's
Yes.
alive. And
Yes.
honestly, the more I see it, the more I see it, the anointing of the Lord is on those words. You don't
Mhm.
have to be there. The anointing of the word. And it's because it's your story. Nobody else has ever, nobody, it's your blueprint.
Mhm.
It's not someone else's voice. It's your voice. I'm
Mhm.
very excited for you guys to now I'm very excited for everybody to go create a book right now. Charles, come on. You can talk about your restaurants. Come on, Charles. And then Lalaine, hi. Michelle is in Spain right now. Hi, Michelle. Come on. Maybe
Christine.
there's probably a book inside your heart. Montana, hi, Amy. Honestly, all the things that she has spoken, like, don't devalue ourselves, don't be afraid of what people are going to say. All those are normal. That's
Mhm.
just normal. But we're not normal. We're paranormal. We are
Mhm.
mystics. We're supernatural people. We don't have that. But honestly, I had to go through the process. The
Yeah.
process is hard. The process is scary. You know what, Charity? Especially when it was about to be published, I got scared.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't have any more hold on anything else. Every information is going to go out.
Mhm.
What would you say to them? Like, okay, this is it. I feel like my privacy has been taken away.
I
What
wrote
would
a book on marriage with my husband. Hello, like, and I guess there's, this is something from where I sit now, and
Mhm.
I look back and I'm thankful that I trusted this
Process?
process.
Mm-hmm.
Where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom,
Mm.
right? So any of those things, if I was not really living in freedom, then yeah, there's shame. Yeah, there's I want to hide, I want to cover up.
Mm-hmm.
But really what my books are a testimony to what God has done. So why would I feel shame?
Right. Right.
Because I'll tell you this, I've done enough hair and I've helped to write enough books to know that everybody's got problems. Everybody has problems.
Mm-hmm.
And those who are free to talk about it, man, that's who everybody else is sitting back wondering what's different about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody can be scared. Anybody can stay quiet. It
Mm-hmm.
does take a little
Courage.
a little bit of something
Pff.
to do it. And really what it is dare I say it's just giving credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. I love what you said. At the end of the day, I had to go and ask myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I saying all these? It took me a while though, Charity, to really like put into writing the things that I have written, because I didn't want to dishonor the people that are in there.
Mhm,
How would you say that, to our readers, that, I to these people, to our followers, that,
mhm,
it's actually safe, because at the end of the day, it is their story.
mhm,
And it's your motive, isn't it?
mhm.
Go for it. Can you expand on that one?
Yeah, so let's just say that a lot of people have done a lot of bad stuff to a lot of other people,
Mhm.
and I've helped people try to write about that. And there are ways to write
Mhm.
delicate stories. I mean, I've helped
Mhm.
clients write about incest. I've helped clients write about cutting and self-harm. I've helped clients write about, gosh, I mean, abortions, a lot of things that we would think would be very, like,
Painful, taboo.
yes, taboo, secretive. And there are ways to write about it in a way that, number one, tells the story,
Right.
but number two, as much as we can, it can protect relationships. And I talk about how to say things
Right.
if it's somebody who's still alive, if it's somebody who's still in your life, if it's obviously you have to think about the fact that you're this it's out there, and so we do talk about how to weigh that out, and then also I go back to just how important a good editor is because they will help make sure to the best of their ability that what's out there is something that won't necessarily interfere with your future life either.
Mhm. Right.
That it's doing what it's supposed to do. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, if we are putting more value in our pride and in our reputation than in what God is asking us to do, then who's our God?
Mm.
And I
Ab-
say that with the utmost respect to what people have gone through. Like I said, I've helped people write some very, very hard things, and I've written some very hard things. So
Mhm.
I'm not diminishing pain. I'm not diminishing abuse or anything like that. But at the end of the day, who are we worshiping when we let fear win?
Mhm. Who are we worshiping when we let fear come out in the surface? Ooh, that's very interesting. Honestly, at the end of the day, we there's so many people who are hiding. There's so many people in pretension. There's so many people who are hurting, and the only thing that they would want is to know that there's somebody else that is going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's your book.
Hmm.
Maybe that's your book. or somebody is actually like at the end of it, I don't want anymore, and then all of a sudden they saw a small pamphlet that you actually produce,
Mhm.
right? I mean, listen, the tracks in the Philippines, that's how we did the evangelism, right?
Mhm.
So many people have been saved because of that. And those are like what, 3 pages,
Yeah.
small folded pages.
Mhm.
This is what we're talking about here. You know, when Charity was telling me that she's gonna go and be launching another author coaching, I'm like, she didn't ask me. I asked her to come to me. And it's like, let's go and encourage the people that somehow listen to us, at least in BPW. Because honestly, guys, we are here to empower people. We are here to encourage people. We are here to pull out the encounters that they have with the Lord, to
Mhm.
be able to go and let other people experience. And
Mhm.
so, like, let us know, Charity, when is your next session? When
I
is
mean,
your next launch authors?
it starts January 10th,
Ooh.
Central Time. So if I don't know where you are in the world, but it may be a day earlier or a day after. But the January we start here January 10th.
Mm-hmm.
We go
Yeah,
for 12 weeks,
12
and
weeks.
yeah, you'll know exactly what to do. We basically take the elephant and break it down into daily bites.
That's right. The elephant. It looks like an elephant, right? But you're a lion. I love what Miles Monroe said. But you're a lion. So you think of the elephant as lunch. You're
Yes,
not like the elephant who always think you're the lunch.
yes, yeah.
I love what Charles has said. So the book is like the woman at the well, telling everybody about how awesome Jesus is.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We
And
give.
Ruth, yeah, like right now, I sorry to interrupt you, but one of the things too, right now, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I've got 4 kids in public school. I've got, I'm surrounded by, people who are of faith and not of faith. And we can tell that there is a lot of noise in our culture, in our world today. And I'm here to just help people who are willing to say what God has in them, so that it's not just being drowned out by all this other noise.
Right.
Whether you're a person, like I know for myself, if you're going to write a book on parenting teens, I already want your book. So please let me help you write that book. If you're going to write a book about, what you've overcome as a teenager, over what you've overcome as a mother, over what you overcome as a survivor of either abuse or disease, whatever it is. I mean, people, like I always say, we often write to a younger version of ourselves
Mm-hmm.
who wished that there could have been a book that tells us what to do when the circumstances look insurmountable, when it looks like you're behind the 8 ball, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
We're just wanting someone that gives us that feeling that we're not alone. We're
Mm-hmm.
not the only one.
Right.
We haven't been singled out.
Right.
And it takes people coming from each unique perspective
Mm-hmm.
to be able to reach those in those unique perspectives.
Right. 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 I mean, just to think about the Bible. If that Bible wasn't written,
Hmm.
if nobody has actually taken time, and I remember I watched this Paul writing. I know Luke was writing what Paul was saying, but somebody
Hmm.
was writing it down.
Hmm.
And we all are encouraged and empowered because of the word of God through us. So it's the same thing, isn't it? And we simplify it right now. We simplify it right now. There are times when we feel all those fears, therefore we need somebody to go and walk us through. Just like what the Ethiopian said. Oh, how would I know? How would they know if nobody would tell them? And
Hmm.
so charity, guys, charity. That's why I have a book. Because Charity really is a gentle but brilliant woman of God who will walk you through with no condescending, no judgment, but really, she will just ignite every gift that you have inside of you, the words, and I think the laziest to write.
You have
I
a million, what, million
don't.
irons in the fire?
I don't like to go and put everything on. If I go live, I just go on live because I have a revelation. But i
Mhm.
don't i don't need to go and put it all together. But Charity was able to go and encourage me to actually sit down get it into sections, put it into chapters. So I am encouraging you guys, whatever charity is going to go and do, I encourage you to go and join. And then I love how at that time, charity, this is a big deal for me. At that time, I just arrived America. I didn't have any job. I didn't have anything. But then charity break it all down for me so that I can still be a kingdom person, giving her what is due her. But she broke it all down for me so that I can actually so that I can actually get into her mentorship. So she's gonna go and do that for you. She's not like no. No, I don't think you can go and manage this one. No, no, she's not like that. She's gonna pull you in because she believes in you. That's what it is all about. She believes in you. Can't wait to start writing with you in January. There you go. There's one already. Hi, Jan. Okay, tell us, Charity, where to find you. Amy, yeah, you're right. Wait a minute, please. Amy, you're right. Thank you to Ruth and Charity for creating these opportunities. Oh, Amy, it's been a while. Start writing, Amy.
Yes.
Start writing. And so, yeah, Charity, tell them where they will find you so that they can go and come and join writing books.
So the easiest way to find me would be my website, charitybradshaw.com, charitybradshaw.com. I also am on Facebook, Charity Bradshaw INC, for incorporated at the end. That's my public whatever author page. You'll see some of the books that we release, and I like to just talk about being an author and getting your story out there on there. I'd love for you to follow me there. You can email our group at admin at charitybradshaw.com. We do, because it is such a small group, I talk to everyone before they come in because I do protect that environment. So you're not going to find a way to just sign up on my website. We always interview and make sure that we all have the same goal in mind, et
Mhm.
cetera. And just make sure it's this group that's coming in January. I've got 3 spots left, and I'm super excited. I can already see. I love just seeing each group form and the different people that God puts together for different times. And I love January starts because everybody's got that new year momentum and drive. And how amazing would it feel to get your book written the first thing of the year, get that weight off of you, get that story told and on the paper? Oh, it feels so good.
And it's a plus when you have a mentor that is actually fun. Uh, she's crazy. You just don't know her. She's so fun. She's very very loving, very nurturing, very very mother like, and really will believe will believe for you if you don't have it. Honestly, that's who my Charity Bradshaw is. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me, Charity. I believe in what you're doing, and so I really totally support you. Jan, go for it. Amy, go for it. Charles, go for it. Okay, all of you, you go for it. I'm sure you guys are here because God's calling you for it. Okay, so Charity, any prayer for us, please? Impartation, and then we say goodbye.
Absolutely. Can I just pray? Can we
Yes,
pray?
please. Yes, please.
God, first of all, I just want to thank you for Ruth. And I want to thank you for laying her path straight before her, especially tomorrow for her and her family. We
Yes,
just pray a hedge of protection around her and her husband. I thank you for guiding all of the doctors in their procedure tomorrow. And I thank you for her life and for her husband's life. And God, number one, I want to honor you with this time and say, God, if you are putting this on people's hearts and they need me, just help them connect. I'm here
yes,
for them. And God, if there's any sort of fear of the unknown, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of man, fear of what if I can't do this, fear of who, God, I just ask that your perfect love cast out that fear.
right.
And I thank you for the experiences, the expertise, the wisdom that you've poured into these people and letting them connect to the value that you've placed inside them. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Oh my gosh, you are such a breath of fresh air to me, Charity. I miss you. I miss being with you. I love you so much. Hugs to the family. I love Aunt Joan so much. Oh my gosh, I miss you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, just like what she was saying, I'm gonna be out for a little bit. One kidney of mine is going to transfer to my husband's kidney. Yay! So
Yes.
remember us. Just say a prayer.
Tomorrow. Hmm.
There's smooth transition, no rejection whatsoever. But I'm very, very excited. We bless you. Thank you guys for being with us today. please watch it again, or send it to somebody that you know who has been wanting or who has been nudged by the Lord to write a book. Okay, guys?
Yes. Sharing
Love
is
you.
caring.
Sharing, yeah, sharing is caring. Okay, thank you guys and see you soon. Love you, Charity.
Love you too, Ruth. Bye.
Bye.